Good evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Thank you guys so much for coming to our meeting tonight. I'd like to lead us in our prayer, and right from the prayer, we're going to the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Mr. McCullum, call roll, please.
President Logan.
Here.
Councilman Roberts.
Here.
Councilman Hinton.
Here.
Councilman Davis.
Here.
Councilman Hogg.
Here.
Item 5, ladies and gentlemen, is approval of our agenda. In our pre-meeting, we went over our agenda rather quickly, and again, we only have one item, which is a public hearing in regards to a 772 hearing. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed? That's a motion by Councilman Hinton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Carried.
7A1 unfinished business. Ms. Ram, is a second reading of a renaming of a street.
Yes, sir. This request does come from First Baptist Church of Northport. They are requesting that a portion of 12th Street, basically from the church to the east city limit line, be renamed to honor the late Reverend O.S. Harvey. This did go before the Planning Commission, and it does come with a favorable recommendation.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to grant the request. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
No.
All right, motion carried.
Item 8, new business. 8B1 is a resolution awarding bid file 19-17 for janitorial products. Again, this is out of Public Works. Again, these are products or annual bid files that we do have, so I'll move through them rather quickly. This one is for janitorial projects. This is bid file 19-17. Weatherford Office Supplies is the lowest bidder for janitorial. I'll make a motion to approve that resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Second item is a resolution awarding bid file 19-16 for oil products. This goes to W.H. Thomas as the lowest bidder. And again, I'll make that motion for the resolution to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments?
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item 3 is a resolution awarding bid file 19-15 for heavy-duty auto products or parts. Southland International Trucks Incorporated was the lowest bidder. I'll make a motion to approve that resolution awarding the bid files. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item 4 is a resolution awarding bid file 19-14 for light-duty auto parts. This goes to Northport Auto Supply. Again, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution awarding the bid files. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item 5 is a resolution awarding bid file 19-13 for miscellaneous auto parts. This goes to Northport Auto Supply. I'll make a motion to approve that resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
And Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item 6 is awarding bid file 19-12 for automotive batteries. Again, Northport Auto Supply is the lowest bidder. I'll make a motion to approve that resolution awarding the bid. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item 7 is a resolution awarding the cooperative maintenance agreement with AlDOT for U.S. Highway 82 and U.S. Highway 43 rights-of-way maintenance. Again, this is an annual contract that we do with AlDOT, and again, we're only required to cut it so many times, but as you see throughout the year, we may have cut it twice or 3 times a year, so we're doing a really good job in that cooperative maintenance agreement. Is there a motion to adopt the resolution authorizing our city administrator's office to execute the co-op agreement with AlDOT for maintenance of the right-of-ways along 82 of Highway 82 and Highway 43 from the eastern city limits to the western city limits for 2020?
To approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item 8 is a resolution accepting a change order number 1 for additional CE&I services to BKI Incorporated on the Union Chapel Road realignment project. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the utilities portion of the contract for the change order. Is there a motion to adopt that resolution?
Make the motion.
That's a motion by Councilman Hinton. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? One for the record, the additional amount is $13,750.00. That's a motion by Councilman Hinton, second by Councilman Davis. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Item C, consent agenda. We have 11 items on our consent agenda. They range from minutes of the previous meeting, bill listings, travel and training. Again, appeal requisition for our legal services rendered. Again, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed?
Motion to approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Carried.
Item 9, reports of special committees to council. If any member of the council or the mayor's office wanted to give a report of their respective committee.
I'd like to make one announcement. The City Administrative Committee will meet the second Thursday of each month at 2:00 p.m. beginning in January. So that means January the 9th will be our first regular meeting. Then we'll meet each month thereafter on the second Thursday at 2 p.m.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Councilman Hinton. Any further reports or announcements from our respective committees? All right, hearing none. Item 10 is public hearing. I do know we do have one item on the agenda for our public hearing. It's in regards to a council consideration for a project redevelopment between the city and North Square Properties, LLC. Again, John Ray, who is our retail attorney for the city of Northport, is here to kind of guide us through our process again. Again, this is a 772 state required code for a public hearing in regards to council consideration of project redevelopment agreement. So, John?
Thank you, Mr. President. The city has drafted and has proposed a project redevelopment agreement between the city and developer North Square Properties, LLC. The property at issue is located on or about 3380 McFarland Boulevard, which is adjacent to City Hall and contains some existing commercial buildings that have fallen into disrepair. The idea behind this project redevelopment agreement is to take these dilapidated structures and incentivize the creation of new buildings and new renovated structures to attract new retail and commercial enterprises to the city of Northport. So under Amendment 772 of the Alabama Constitution, before the city can grant a sales tax rebate or other thing of value, it has to prepare a notice to the public, notify the public of its consideration of the proposal, and open up a public hearing to allow the members of the public to talk about the good and bad points of doing it. We have published in the Tuscaloosa News a notice to notify the public of this hearing. We published it last week in accordance with Alabama law, and we have had a copy of the development agreement available at City Hall for anyone to review this week. Just to give a brief synopsis of the terms, and I see the developers here, I'll let them speak specifically on the nature of the project. but this is a sales tax rebate proposal. Because this is a redevelopment project, what we did is we looked at the last 3 years of the sales tax generated on the property in its existing condition when it was operational. We set that at the floor and provided no sales tax rebates for that floor. Annual threshold is what's called in the agreement. Over and above that annual threshold, which is $2.25 million, any sales over and above that would be rebated on a 50% basis back to the developer in consideration of the developer's improvements on the property, which are expected to be approximately 40,000 square feet of new and renovated commercial and retail space with a total capital investment of approximately $10 million between the developer and or the tenants. Notably, in the agreement, the sales tax is limited it's limited to certain types of businesses. There are no sales tax rebates available for sales generated at a gas station or a convenience store. The agreement further limits the availability of sales tax rebates for a fast food restaurant as defined in the agreement, and that is limited to one single detached new to market fast food restaurant. It is important to note, because this is a redevelopment agreement, its purpose is to attract new retail businesses to the city. So any businesses that are currently in existence in the city as of the effective date of the agreement, which would be tomorrow if the council were to approve it, would be excluded from the rebate proposed under the agreement, which has the practical effect of if an existing business in Northport moves into the renovated space, the sales generated from that business would not be eligible for rebate under the proposed agreement. The total amount of rebate under the proposed agreement would be $1.5 million over the course of 10 years. In the event the agreement, once that amount of money is generated, it would terminate in the event that $1.5 million has not been rebated to the developer at the end of 10 years from the commencement date. The agreement would also terminate. The term of the agreement would commence upon the opening of the first retail tenant in the project, in the renovated project, other than Planet Fitness. I believe the developer would indicate Planet Fitness is on its way of opening in the project, and that's not a major retail sales tax generator. So the agreement would begin at that and then run for a period of 10 years, or maxed at $1.5 million of rebate over and above the annual threshold as set forth in the agreement. If you have any questions, I'll be certainly happy to answer those. I know the developer is here, and you may ask the developer to sort of give you an idea of what the plan is.
All right, thank you, John. Just in terms of the mechanics of this public hearing, of course we got to open the floor, but would you suggest we allow the developer to come through and make comments and answer any questions?
Yeah, I think that'd be appropriate to allow them an opportunity to discuss the project and then make them available for questions to the public.
Okay. All right. We do have some photos I think the developer and his team have actually supplied to the City Council for public consumption and review. So at this time, I know the developer's here. If you guys want to come up and just state your name and name of your development company. And
So I'm Inge Beaker with Beaker Property Group, and we've been working on the project next door. Seems like quite a while now. So we're finally starting to make some really good progress. The delay in the progress in the project was we took that old building next door, and our architects and their architects have basically created a new building, and it took both of them a little bit longer than they would like. But now we've finally gotten the plans together, and we're really moving forward. We have leases signed with Sports Clips. We've got 2 others that are really close to getting signed, and they are quick service restaurants, fast casual, and we're in negotiations with about 4 more. So if you see the site plan here on the far left, that's where Planet Fitness is going to be. We're demoing the building next door to that. That'll come back as 6,000 square feet. We have an LOI verbally agreed upon on the end cap. Then the retail says 8,800. That's what we're calling Building 1. And we have 4 suites in that. Is that right? 5 suites. And we have 4 of those accounted for. We had a really good site visit on what we call Building 2 last week. We've got to get that through their corporate strategy team. We talked to them today. The holiday slowed it up a little bit, but we're real excited about a possibility of kind of a national, really star fast casual restaurant coming there. And then we have a concept on the end that we're still in negotiation. So the project is moving along just like we'd hoped. We've got our few anchors, and we've got a lot of leads on the rest of it. We're going to take down that dilapidated side that everybody's tired of looking at. We're coming back with new buildings, and we're really spending a little bit more money on these buildings than maybe some of my partners would like. But we understand what this means for Northport. It's the highest traffic count of anywhere in the city. And if we could look at that, the actual renderings, you can see we have these end caps that we feel like really does a good job of displaying the property, and it's going to be very high quality construction, and we're really excited about it. So I guess, are there any other questions?
About the demo, how long do you think that might?
Demo shouldn't take too long. I think we're scheduled to get started next week. I would think, it shouldn't take more than probably by the end of the year it should be completed.
All right, John, what I'll do is I'll open the floor for a public hearing. So by state code, we're required to open the floor for a public hearing. So right now, the floor is open for any member of the public who wanted to discuss or add comments, so on and so forth, regarding the consideration for a project development agreement between the City of Northport and North Square Properties, LLC. The floor is now open for the required public hearing. All right. By state code, I'm required to close the floor, John. I'm going to close the floor for our public hearing. So the floor is actually closed for our public hearing regarding this agenda item. So, John, if you wanted to walk us through the next step.
Yes, sir. So now that the public hearing has been closed, there are 2 action items on the agenda. One is a resolution approving and authorizing the execution of this project redevelopment agreement. The second item is a resolution authorizing the city to issue a certificate of indebtedness for the purposes of allowing us to validate the obligations set forth in the project redevelopment agreement. So, and I think we talked with the city attorney, we decided to do that with unanimous consent as a permanent action. So, unless the council has any other questions, I believe you're authorized to move forward.
All right, so just also too, as a point of reference, we're required to, just in the interest of time and the project sensitivity of it, to suspend the rules so we can immediately consider it for a permanent resolution. You want to do that on both actually action items? You want to suspend the rules on both of those?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, is there a motion to suspend the rules in order to immediately consider authorizing the project redevelopment agreement by and between the City of Northport and North Square Properties, LLC?
I move to suspend the rules.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts. President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right, under suspension of the rules, of course, it's been unanimously voted on. Is there a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the project redevelopment agreement by and between the City of Northport and the North Square Properties LLC Development Group?
To approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion
Again, the second action item is the actual certificate of indebtedness, again, for filing the validation lawsuit. But again, we need to suspend the rules in order to immediately consider. So is there a motion to suspend the rules to immediately consider authorizing the issuance of said certificate of indebtedness?
I'll make that motion.
That's a motion by Councilman Roberts. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Henry.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
All right. Second action item is, again, is there a motion to approve that resolution authorizing the issuance of the limited obligation certificate of indebtedness to other financing matters, including the filing of the validation lawsuit in regards to that certain project redevelopment by and between the City of Northport and North Square Properties, LLC?
Motion to approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. McCullum.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Henry.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. John, is that all in regards to that? If you want to wrap that up.
That's
All
it.
right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, City Administrator's Business. Mr. McCullum.
I don't have any.
Our item 12, Departmental Business. I don't think we have any departments that wanted to have any business on the agenda tonight. Item 13, Public Comment. We have one citizen signed to speak, Mr. Stephen Schwab. Good evening, Mr. Schwab. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Stephen Schwab, 2520 Fifth Street, downtown Northport. I want to return to a topic that I have addressed previously, and that's trucks, multi-axled trucks on Fifth Street that aren't even supposed to be there. I understand that police officers ticket these trucks from time to time. But I also understand that the magistrates or municipal court judges frequently dismiss these cases on the grounds that the truck drivers will say, well, my GPS routed me this way, and when I got there I saw that I wasn't supposed to be there, but I couldn't do anything about it. I just wish to speak on this subject, and I know I've spoken about it previously, but a few weeks ago my wife and I, it was a pleasant afternoon, it was much warmer than it is today, and we decided we wanted to sit on our front porch. And we were only there for a couple of minutes when a multi-axled truck that wasn't supposed to be there came by, and it was spewing noxious, possibly poisonous fumes into the air. And so we went back inside. Now, I just wish to speak for people like myself who own property and live on Fifth Street. I don't know what the solution is to this problem. The trucks aren't supposed to be there, but they are there. I lived for many, many years in Northern Virginia, where everybody who owns a vehicle has to have pass emissions tests. I believe it's twice a year. Now, the state of Alabama doesn't have this kind of law. I think it should, but I'm speaking to the city council, and I raise this because I want to get it into the public domain. But, you know, we own fairly valuable properties, and we like living on Fifth Street. And I think on a nice day, we should be able to sit on our front porch and not inhale these noxious, possibly poisonous fumes. So I simply want to pose the issue. I don't know what the solution is, but I think that if nobody speaks up for the property owners who live on Fifth Street, this issue will never get addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Swap. Just as a point of reference for the record, Fifth Street is actually State Road 13, so it's a state road, so we probably couldn't limit or exclude a lot of trucks, but I do understand your perspective, and
2520 Fifth Street is within the boundaries of the city of Northport.
yeah, it is State Road 13 though. You cannot restrict it. It is a state road though.
But you have signs posted saying that multi-axle vehicles are not supposed to be there.
Understood.
So
But you can't restrict them though. We may have it in certain areas, but you can't restrict that along that. But that's an ALDOT issue. But I'll make sure that the proper folk at ALDOT understand that one and get that information hopefully back to you. But it is a state road. That's the old Columbus Highway.
But, Mr. President, I do think also the city several years ago accepted an industrial access grant for Field Street. So
That's right. We sure did, Ron.